Hello, you guys. How are you? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. As soon as I go live, Bentley runs out and starts, acting up, but he's under control now and taken care of. And I did hand out a couple of wrenches, and I do have more that I'm going to hand out, but the only thing is, I can't do it from StreamYard. So there's Wolfie. Yes, I was hoping you would come in here so I could do it quick because my phone's about to die. Let's see. Hey, Crime Sleuthing. I'm trying to renew my membership, but it's in this currency. It says $1.99 a month because my new VPN auto IP. I don't know what to do. Oh, I don't know. I think it would be okay, but also, I really wouldn't want to lead you to do something that could be hurtful. There's T. Yes, I'm glad you commented. Okay, let me add your wrenches. And then I guess, if the other people come in and it'll be okay. I'll just do it later. So anyways, I've missed you guys. I'm all over the place today. I'm a mess. And I only have one contact in, so you can hardly see the chat. Let's see. MK. I don't know. I haven't been on it on my phone for a little bit. Hey, Candace. I didn't even say hello to you guys. See, I'm all thrown off. Hey, Patty Pennytail. Hey, Lori. Hey, Nady. Hey, Pizza Chemist. Oh, welcome. Lisa, thank you for joining. Hey, West Virginia Holler Girl. Pointer Lover. Woofy. Woofy, did you get your wrench? On a credit card, it does an automatic conversion from my experience. Thank you. Let's see who else is in here. Chemistry Queen. Hey, MK. Everything is smaller now. Interesting. That sucks. Hey, Andrea Mitchell. So there is a little bit. Tiffany, hey, I'm so glad you got that membership too. When I saw that it was you, I was too excited. So I planned on coming on to chat with you guys about some things that are happening in both cases that involve the death penalty. So we have Brian Kohberger, who would potentially get the death penalty. In this case, he could, but I know that they take the family's opinion into consideration. Like in the case of Chris Watts, they did not give it to him. The family didn't want him to get it. So it's interesting because in the Idaho case, we have Kaylee's family who, is all for it. And then we have Xana's mom who last night said she was not. So that will be really interesting to see how that plays out. Then we have Lori Vallow. We know that the prosecution is going for the death penalty, her and Chad Daybell. And we've been talking about the updates as they come, but I hadn't talked to you guys since Lori Vallow put out her lawyer filed a motion for the case to be dismissed because she hasn't had a speedy trial. She never waived her right. And from what I've seen, I think a lot of defendants do. They want more time to kind of prepare for the trial and stuff. She did not. Chad did, but because their cases are conjoined, it's becoming a little bit murky. So we're going to talk about that too. Then right before I went live, I found a new article that is actually really interesting that has some court documents to go along with it in the Idaho 4 case. So remember, the defense, and this is all normal, but the defense put a request out for the discovery. They wanted everything. I mean, they even wanted any drug tests, just everything. Well, now we know that the state has given them at least 100 documents, some photos, and one video at least. We don't know what yet. It has not been made public. There's a gag order, but we are going to look at what is public as far as that stuff goes. Oh, hey, Latitude. I'm so happy you found us too. I cannot with YouTube and the freaking reminders. So LFT's in here. I want to give her a wrench before I get started because it's going to be a little bit more difficult to give them once I'm going. Let's see. And I still don't know what I'm going to do with wrenches, guys. I'll be honest with you. If, hey, Seth, if you have a wrench on the channel, I really want for us to be able to be in some sort of group conversation with everyone. So I don't know who's like, if anyone's uncomfortable with something like that, and that's just going to be something that we have to talk about. But for tonight and temporarily, I need wrenches. The other day, there were some comments I didn't see because I was reading to you guys and stuff that I definitely would have not wanted kept on my live, shaming addicts and stuff like that. Look, I know that, a couple of the people's mothers have drug problems and stuff like that. To me, right now, it is unrelated, and I don't want to mix the two. I don't want addict bashing. You guys know my opinion. I don't think anyone in active addiction is the best parent. It's just part of the disease. Like, the addiction comes first, right? So it comes before you. I can even say, back in my active addiction, I wasn't before I had Bentley. And I'm at peace with that. And I want to be a better parent now. And it is hard to make peace with that stuff. It comes with a lot of guilt. But I can honestly say the difference in my parenting is like crazy different. So we need a group for mods. That's what I was thinking, Lori. Is dropping links still the same? Yep. Only if I tell you. I don't want to drop links anymore just because people come in. I'm not doing that anymore. Just for a little bit. I do too, Pointer Lover. Maybe we can do it on Facebook. I don't know if you guys are all on there. Hey, Mike. Hey, Rand the Man. No, Woofy. I don't like that either. Hey, Corey. Thank you. That's sweet. Guilt and shame. Yes, Latitude. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. But I'll tell you this. The guilt and the shame that you feel is heavy and it is hard to face. It will almost hold you back from getting better. But the good thing is after that, you are no longer hiding anything. You can look anyone in the face without shame because you're not hiding anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I will have the hammer and the wrench because I'm greedy. Yeah, it's okay. But anyway, so I didn't want those comments in here. Hey, Rescue Mom. Exactly, Crumb Sleuth, I'm with you there. And look, a lot of people have tried to connect this case with drugs. We know that he has a past with drugs. There's rumors about the house, this and that. And if that ever comes out to be the case, we'll talk about it. But we're not going to make those kind of insinuations. I think we've seen how dangerous things can get with this case. Look at how everyone treated Jack S. Jack D. I mean, I don't want to do that to anyone. And I just, yeah. Thank you, Punksy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Whoever gets off, what is their business? Ain't nothing to do with nothing. That's true, yeah. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah, I know she broke my heart too. Okay, give me just a second, you guys, and we're going to get right into this. So let me switch over. I got to get my phone though for a second. And yeah, what are you guys doing tonight, by the way? It's Friday. My where's that sound coming from? I know that was echoing. I'm sorry, you guys. My son's at basketball. Oh, thank you, Chemistry Queen. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I love you too. Also, I'm really proud of your son. 5 years is a long freaking time. And you know what? I was talking yesterday. I know how hard that was on you because I've watched my parents go through it. And I swear to you, I believe it's harder on the parents and the people that are home worrying every night if the person's going to be alive the next day or where they're at and all that stuff. I really do. I feel for you. And I'm so glad that he's doing better. It took me a second to read the thing because I was trying to add a moderator. Oh, thank you, Seth. That was really sweet. Oh, look at you, Crumb Sleuth, and you got one from So there you go. Thank you. That was really nice, and I appreciate that. On your birthday weekend. Yeah, it's Seth's birthday. So happy birthday, Seth. I told Seth yesterday, but so you guys can tell him. I'm proud of every survivor too. Absolutely. Okay. So, anyways, and I want you guys to tell if anybody comes in and they're like, why do I not have a wrench? And they're all back, tell them that I'm giving them back just as people come into the chat. So it just works better that way. But okay, let's start with this article. Let me pull this off. Well, no, actually, I was going to read this. David says, guilt tends to subside where you can show yourself what you learned from the mistake, whatever it was. That's so true, David. And you know what? Even though I went through a lot of hell and a lot of dark times, I mean, times that I literally begged not to wake up the next day, I'm glad because I don't think that I would be the person I am today because I used to be a selfish ass little brat, which I think we all are to an extent when we're younger, you know? Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you so much. That was Seth Crumb Sleuth, and I don't know if you guys, oh yeah, you can see it in the chat. Hey, Trippy Dead. Oh, you're so welcome, Seth, and thank you, Crazy Mama. No, I need to be paying you guys. Hey, Angie. Oh my gosh. Yay, I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, thank you for letting me know. I love you guys work for Lutterworth. All right, let's get right into it. You know what? The replay people are going to be pissed. I might as well put in the comments, we start talking about it at 14 minutes and 20 seconds. But I love you guys, and I'm not going to stop doing that. It just is what it is. That's why we do the live chats, is to hang out. It's Friday night. This is my time too, y'all, with you guys. Okay, so this article came out from Fox News, 3:45 this afternoon. Idaho murders Brian Kohberger defense receives hundreds of documents from prosecutors. Idaho prosecutors have turned over hundreds of discovery documents to Brian Kohberger's defense team. Let's see. Latah County prosecutors turned over hundreds of files to Idaho student murder suspects Brian Kohberger's defense this week, court records show. The discovery disclosures include nearly 1,000 pages of documents, almost twice as many images, and a video. Oh my God, I didn't read that correctly earlier. I read like not that many, 1,000. For some reason, I was thinking 100 pages. Twice as many images, so almost 2,000 pictures. Wow. Oh, thank you, Kat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hey, Guidance. Oh, I'm so sorry, Liz. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hey, Tess. Oh, I'm sending you one for sure. You know that. Let's see. Squeaky wheel. I know. That's a lot of evidence. Think about those few pages that we got in the affidavit. 1,000 documents, almost 2,000 photos, and a video. And I'd be curious what that was. Would that, because we know that they got his car turning around and that kind of stuff. Let's see. Where did Tess go? There she is. And like I said, if, the mod thing is still a work in progress. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but no sound. Huh? No, they sent, so this could be photos from surveillance. I mean, it could be I don't know. It could be from his computer. It could be anything. It's any evidence that they have. It's the evidence they have against him. Some of it. Okay, so let's keep going. That's a lot. The evidence has not yet been made public, and the court has issued a gag order on the case, barring attorneys from both sides, investigators, and lawyers for witnesses, victims, and their families from discussing the case. Koberger is being held without bail on 4 counts of first-degree murder and a felony burglary charge after allegedly entering the house at 4 a.m. We know all of that. Now, we have the documents, I think, right here. So let me switch over and we're going to read. I think it's just a few pages. Yeah, they're from the prosecution. And because you remember, they already put in the request for a lot of the evidence that they had, which, you do have to do. They have to give it to them. They requested any drug test results, all that stuff. Does anyone think, I don't know, Melissa, I hope not too, but it's anything is possible. And this is not everything. I think it's just the beginning. Okay, so in the District Court of the 2nd Judicial District of the state of Idaho, this is the state's response to request for discovery. So the defendant, Brian Koberger, and counsel comes now in the state in the above titled manner. In the following request for the discovery, the state has complied and will continue to comply with such request by providing the following: any relevant written or recorded statements made by the defendant or copies thereof so here we go. We're going to find out exactly. Any relevant written or recorded statements made by Brian or copies of it within the possession, custody, or control of the state, the existence of which is known or is available to the prosecuting attorney by the exercise of due diligence, and also the substance of any relevant oral statement made by the defendant, whether before or after arrest, to a peace officer, prosecuting attorney, or the prosecuting attorney's agent, have been or will be disclosed or otherwise made available. So anything that he said to anyone, he's going to get copies of that. And we do know that he spoke, you guys, for about 10 or 15 minutes before he asked for a lawyer. Hey, Jamie. Oh, okay. Thank you. You guys are too good to me. I love you guys and appreciate you so much. I really do. Hey, Cray Cray. Yeah, Amber was telling me earlier, hey, Dave G, I'm going to add you back as a wrench too, for sure. I hope my phone's not dead, because once that does, I can't do it, but it's not. If anyone's following Murdaugh, which I know Brittany, my friend allegedly with Brittany, is covering it, her and Mallory, and then Amber is going to be covering that as well. Okay, let's keep going. I got to get a drink of water, though. Hold on. Aw, Nay. Is that Nady? Because I can't see it yet. Hold on. Yes. Aw, thank you, Nay. Shouldn't have done that, but thank you. Hey, by the way, Woofy, I got some more plushies tonight. I was like, I'll buy more for Bentley and Emmy and Woofy. Yeah, Brittany is coming back. She's using her second channel right now, you guys. And I will make sure that gets dropped. You just have to give me a second, unless somebody in here has it. One of the mods, the second channel. Pointer Lover, can you drop Brittany's second channel until she has her first one back? What, Woofy? Okay, so this is interesting, and I'm sure this will cause more stir up, but they ask for this, so this is a response. Any written or recorded statements of a co-defendant and the substance of any relevant oral statement made by a co-defendant, whether before or after arrest, in response to interrogation by any person known by the co-defendant to be a peace officer or agent of the prosecuting attorney, have been or will be disclosed or otherwise made available. I'm really interested in that. I think that's standard, but I mean, it's I can't help it. It's a little bit odd, to see that. What do you guys think about that? Does anybody? I don't know. I don't know. Brittany just can't go live on her first channel right now. She has like a YouTube is not allowing her to. Okay, number 3. Defendant's prior criminal record, if any, has been or will be disclosed or otherwise made available. Well, doesn't the defendant know his criminal record? Any books, papers, documents, photographs, tangible objects, buildings or places, or copies of portions thereof, which are in the possession, custody, or control of the prosecutor. They're material to the preparation of the defense or intended for use by the prosecutor as evidence at trial, or obtained from or belonging to the defendant, have been or will be disclosed or otherwise made available. So any books, papers, documents, photographs, anything tangible, even copies, pictures of buildings, anything that's in their possession that is going to be used by the prosecutor as evidence at trial, they're giving them. They have to give it, and they're just, being super clear on like listing everything. In addition, deputies and officers from the Latah County Sheriff's Office, Idaho State Police, Moscow Police Department, Idaho Fish and Game, and other enforcement agencies may record their law enforcement contacts via an audio recorder or audio-video recorder. Any audio and video recordings related to this matter are available for review and duplication on request, subject to this Idaho law, pursuant to said subsection, and except as otherwise specified herein. Any such digital media is unredacted and may contain protected information. Thus, further distribution is restricted unless the state provides written consent or by order of the court. Any results or reports of his physical or mental examinations, scientific tests, experiments, anything like that made in connection with this case, or copies of it within the possession of the prosecuting attorney, will be made available to the defense. A written list of the names and addresses of all persons having knowledge of relevant facts who may be called by the state as witnesses at the trial has been or will be provided separately in accordance with Idaho Code, blah, blah, blah. Any record of prior felony convictions of any such persons, which is within the knowledge of the prosecutor, and all statements made by the prosecution's witnesses or prospective prosecution witnesses to the prosecuting attorney or, any law enforcement, will be made available. So everything. Any written summary or report of any testimony that the state intends to introduce pursuant to Rule 702, 3, or 5 of the Idaho Rules of Evidence at Trial or Hearing have been disclosed or will be made available. This response does not necessarily include disclosure of expert witnesses, their opinions, the fact and data for those opinions, or the witness's qualification intended only to review evidence or theories that have not been disclosed. Wow. So they don't have to tell them the details of the expert witnesses? That's kind of interesting. Good. Because it just feels like we're handing it all over to them, which you have to. I mean, that's just the law, so they can defend themselves on each and every, part. Let's see. Hey, baby girl. I'm so happy to hear that about Angie, if you're still in here. Hey, Riddler. Okay, let's keep going. Any reports or memoranda in possession of the prosecuting attorney, all material or information within the prosecuting attorney's possession, which tends to negate the guilt of the accused. So anything that they have, and they will get in major trouble for this, you guys, if they have stuff that shows that he may not be guilty, or someone else may be involved that they haven't looked at closely, or anything like that, they have to show anything they have. Like, say they have a witness that came forward and said, I saw someone leaving and he was, 5 foot flat, red hair, freckles, and glasses. Well, the state has to make that clear that that's happened. If not, they can't hold that evidence back, if that makes sense. A surprise expert witness can turn an entire case. I could totally see that, Kim. Okay. Wonder where Lynn is. To the extent that information exists regarding an informant who is not going to be produced as a witness, including recordings or written statements of an informant, or that identify an informant, such information is not subject to disclosure. So if they have someone who's told them stuff, but they're not going to put them on the stand, they don't have to bring that forward. The state objects to requests by the defense for anything not otherwise addressed above. So anything else they're asking for, the state said no. Wherever this response indicates that certain evidence or materials have been or will be disclosed or otherwise made available, such indication should not be construed as confirmation that such evidence or materials exist, but simply as an indication that if such evidence or materials exist, they have been or will be disclosed. So it's saying just because up there it mentioned, this is literally number 12 is for that co-defendant part. Just because it says anything related to a co-defendant does not mean there is a co-defendant. All it means is if there ever was, they will have the information. Furthermore, any items which are listed in Exhibit A but are not specifically provided or which are referred to in documents which are listed in Exhibit A are available for inspection upon appointment with the prosecuting attorney's office. Additionally, all property forms, chain of custody documents, and similar items are likewise available for inspection on appointment and are hereby deemed to be part of Exhibit A for purposes of this response. Pursuant to Idaho Code Rule 16J, if the state subsequently discovers additional evidence or evidence of additional witnesses or decides to use additional evidence or witnesses, the state will promptly notify the defendant. I hereby certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing state's response for discovery was delivered to the following as indicated. So it was sent by email to Ann Taylor. Exhibit A is police reports and documents covered by Idaho Code Rule 16, which are in the possession of the state, have been disclosed to counsel for the defendant as of January 23rd. These materials consist of page numbered 1 through 995, audio or video, that's the number of it, and then photos, 1,865 photos. Wow, that's crazy. They're building a huge case, you guys. This is just the beginning, too, you know. You have to cover your bases in court. If there ends up being a co-defendant, the state doesn't have to withdraw info to the defense, right? Expert stuff must be produced as well, including anything witness has reviewed, substance of expert's expected testimony, prior cases where expert testified. I wonder why I didn't see that in there. Yeah, did he take these photos? I don't know what it is either, Crime Sleuthin', and it's going to make all of our minds wonder. I'm curious, when does this stuff become available on the public record? Is that during the trial? You know, and then, like, because I'm not sure with the way that article was written. Hold on. I just wonder what all those photos are, you guys. Okay. So before we move on to Lori Vallow, I want to know, what do you guys think as far as, well, actually, no, I have a lot of stuff other stuff I wanted to show you too. So I was thinking about Idaho. You know, a lot of states, they say, like, you know, people set on death row forever. So I wanted to get like more information as far as that goes. So let's look at some of this stuff. I have the Idaho Department of Corrections. I have the state legislature about it. And then they're all state websites. But let's go here for a moment because I looked at it all on my phone. So I'm going to have to make some sense of it like this. Okay, so Idaho currently has 8 residents under the sentence of death row. 7 male residents are incarcerated at Idaho Maximum Security Institution south of Boise, and the 1 female resident is incarcerated at Pocatello Women's Correctional Center in Pocatello. 3 executions have occurred since Idaho enacted a new death penalty statute in 1977. So there's only been 3 executions in the last almost 50 years. You know, yeah, 50 years in 2027, 3 executions. Now we have Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, and Brian, who are all potentially, going to live on death row one day. They could. Do I think BK took photos? I don't know, Kay. My mind could go a million places, honestly. And without more information, I don't know. Much less so many pictures, I know. Maybe they definitely, certainly in the affidavit made it seem that he had been, stalking, he'd been by the house so many times. It's possible they have evidence of some of that criminality. Allie, do any of these prisoners have dates of execution set? Let me see, because one of these pages, it does go through some of them. Let's see what else. Here we go. We have this man. He received it November of 2004. It doesn't say if there's a date. Convicted of first-degree murder for the arson death of his wife in Ada County. Thomas Creech. He killed an inmate. He went on death row in 1983. Timothy Dunlap. He killed a woman robbing a bank in 92. It doesn't say if there's a date. James Hairston, 96. Two shooting deaths. Hale Eric, 2004, convicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder for SAing and killing 2 women in Ada County in 2000 and 2003. Gerald Pizzuto, first-degree murder for beating to death 2 people in Idaho County. Daniel Renfro, he went on it in 2017, convicted of first-degree murder for the shooting death of a police officer in Kootenai County. And then the last one is Robin Rowe. Is this the woman? Yes. She went on in 1993 for first-degree murder of the arson deaths of her husband, son, and daughter. Oh my gosh. Wow. Then let's see, that was last updated July of 2022. They have photos of, let's see, execution standard operating procedure, residents under sentence of death. Is that what that's what we just looked at, but let's click it to see. Oh, here we go. It's just like, this is to establish procedures and criteria for housing of the death row inmates and that kind of stuff, which we're going to go back. Execution chamber photos. The page you requested cannot be found. Okay. Here's the code, Idaho code, which I did pull up the law as well. I'm curious, though, because this is what I was looking for, and I did not get like a straight up answer. How much of it is up to the victims' families? And does it vary? Which is what I expect, that it kind of changes depending. Chapter 27, this is Title 19 Criminal Procedure, Chapter 27, Execution. This is the law at 19-2716, infliction of death penalty. The punishment of death shall be inflicted by continuous intravenous administration of a lethal quantity of a substance or substances approved by the director of the Idaho Department of Correction until death is pronounced by a coroner or a deputy coroner. The director of the Idaho Department of Correction shall determine the procedures to be used in any execution. This act shall apply to all executions carried history. And then they just Search the statutes in the Constitution. I have some other things, though. Let me see what else I've got. Can't see y'all's comments yet. I will come back to them, though. Just a second. Let's look at. This is that statute as well, but it goes into more. So, sentence in capital cases. Let's see. There was something in here. A reason why I pulled this. They have to have statutory aggravating circumstances, except as provided in Section 19, 2015, 15A. A person convicted of murder in the first degree shall be liable for the imposition of the penalty of death if such persons killed, intended a killing, or acted with reckless indifference to human life, irrespective of whether such person directly committed the act that caused death. Where a person is sentenced to serve a term, I'm not even on it, you guys. Here we go. Where a person is sentenced to serve a term in the penitentiary after a conviction of a crime which falls within the provisions of Section 20-1005 Idaho Code, except in cases where the court retains jurisdiction. The comments and arguments of the counsel for the state and the defendant relative to the sentencing and the comments of the judge relative to the sentencing shall be recorded. So this is just basic like procedure and rules for the death penalty. Where a person is convicted of an offense which may be punishable by death, a sentence of death shall not be imposed unless a notice of intent to seek the death penalty was filed, which that was filed in Lori Vallow's case a while back. We have not seen that in Idaho yet. The jury or the court, if the jury is waived, finds beyond a reasonable doubt at least one statutory aggravating circumstance. So, shall not be imposed unless they find an aggravating circumstance. The defendant shall be sentenced to death unless mitigating circumstances which may be presented are found to be sufficiently compelling. So it's kind of not 100%. Notwithstanding any court rule to the contrary, yeah, I'm getting lost here, and So basically, these are just kind of what it takes, and that means like in the case of Xana and Stalk, if Colorado was still doing the death penalty, which I believe Letitia actually falls where she could get it potentially, but they did away with the death penalty. But if they were, because not only was she his caretaker, but it was like the other extreme circumstances were the manner, like the methods that she used. I mean, like, sharp, blunt force object, a knife, and a gun. Each one of those were separate for aggravating circumstances. Just the fact that how violent this was, it definitely would qualify. I'm just curious with Brian if the family can change that. That's really my biggest question. Let me go to chat on my phone. I was looking. Thank you, Melmac. Let's see. But jurors, yeah. Yes, the jurors do. Can you see, Allie, can you see my comment? Let me see, Lori. Oh, man, no, I can't see it. I scrolled too far back. I'm sorry, Lori. Found a website that says the average time on death row in Idaho is 18 years. Well, I mean, we know that lady's still on there from 1983, so that's kind of crazy. Let me keep going, though, because I grabbed some other things. What was this? History of the death penalty. It was established in 1864. They've carried out only 29 executions since then. In 1901, they were moved to Idaho State Prison. Prior to that, they were carried out on a county level. Idaho's last hanging was in 1957. Notable cases, this dude only did 14 years on death row. In 2001, he pled guilty. He was sentenced. Wait, what? Oh, they were overturned. Duh. I was reading through that like not the way you're supposed to from start to finish. Donald Paredes spent 14 years on death row in Idaho before his murder convictions were overturned and he was released from prison. 2 murders were committed in Paredes' home in Washington, but he was not present at the time. When he returned home and found the 2 bodies, he helped transport them across the state line to Idaho. Although he was acquitted of the murders in Washington, a medical examiner suggested that one of the victims may have been killed in Idaho, and he was tried and convicted there. Wow. His lawyer had never studied criminal law or tried a case before a jury, and he was working as a police officer at the same time he was representing, not Paredes, the lawyer. Paredes pled guilty to moving the bodies after the murder. He was sentenced to 5 years and released on time served. Then they have exonerations, milestones in when it's been abolished and reinstated, capital punishment. Let's see. In 1864, that was when it became Idaho became a territory, and their first execution occurred. Capital punishment was reinstated in 1973. Here we go. Idaho execution total since 1976. So the last one was in 2012. There was one in 2011, one in 2012. There was none, but the last one before that was 1994. So 3 people since 1993. That is crazy to me. 30 years, 3 people. That's 1 a year average. And then before 93, we have, or 94, have all the way to, you can't see before that. That's, not a lot. So a lot of times they just go to death row and sit there. Would all 4 families have to agree? Kay, that is a question I had, and I Googled it. I couldn't find an answer. Let's try on the computer because I haven't Googled it here. Sorry for that noise. Okay. We do allow I don't even think that's Idaho. That's just Legal Answer website. Family members of murder victims have become increasingly outspoken over the years in their opposition to the death penalty. That's talking about New Hampshire, but also Florida. Let's check this out and see. Proponents of capital punishment have long argued for the death penalty as necessary to do justice for and bring closure to family members of homicide victims. But science suggests that achieving closure through execution may be a myth, and growing numbers of family members of homicide victims oppose capital punishment or do not want it pursued in the death of their loved ones. Family members of murder victims have become increasingly outspoken over the years in their opposition to the death penalty. The 2019 successful repeal of New Hampshire's death penalty was led by Rennie Cushing, a state representative whose father and brother-in-law were murdered in 2 separate incidents years apart. Cushing has described the death penalty as a ritualized killing that does nothing to compensate for a victim's family loss. Senator Ruth Ward, whose father was killed when she was 7, spoke briefly on the floor. She said, "My father never saw us grow up, but my mother forgave whoever it was, and I will vote in favor of this bill." But this is the thing. We have like Kaylee Gonsalves' family and they have a point. They say, I wish Kaylee was in jail and we could write letters to her and talk to her. If she could go on and continue her education and all of that stuff, that would be great. Aw, Pointer Lover. Thank you. You're the best. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. Hey, Search and Rescue Canine Mom. Now, I do think a lot of states, their death row is solitary confinement all the time. You are absolutely alone all the time, which would be, for these people, they deserve that, in my opinion. However, for like just regular people getting in trouble in jail, I'm against it. But last meal seems like, oh, got what I wanted before they took me away, so I won, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know about that. The last meal, I mean, I can't believe they do it, but I guess. Hey, Lucia, he's doing so much better. He really is. Answer above. It is a factor. Not all need to agree. The state is bringing the case to protect the public, not the family. Naturally, a person busted for trafficking massive amounts of fentanyl isn't going to be down with the death penalty. Hey, unsolved cases and news. Family opinion matters. Idaho Statute 182515. Information concerning the victim and the impact that the death of the victim has had on the victim's family is relevant and admissible. We shall see. I don't know. As far as Lori Vallow goes, I already know the prosecution is seeking it, and I think the family wants it as well. And it's really hilarious. She thinks her case is going to be dismissed. I was going to show you guys a video from Nate Eaton, but I had to go get Trenton in 15 minutes, so I don't have time to watch it. But her attorneys filed paperwork. They had counted up all the days she had been in jail, including they took off like the days that she was mentally whatever, but mentally not competent. And they said that she was still in jail longer than she should have been. But I mean, it's a conjoined case. I don't see it going anywhere. I mean, come on, you think they're just going to throw out your case? I don't know. I guess they did it for procedure, basically. Uh-oh, I hear Bentley crying. I don't know what's happened, but she's a joke, stupid Vallow. Oh, hey, chemistry queen. I'm sorry. Hey, shakes her fist. I know it's morbid, but I truly believe if BK somehow got off and wasn't convicted, I believe someone would take matters into their own hands and he'd be unallowed. I could see that. I could. Lori truly thinks she can manipulate anyone. It's crime sleuthing, but I'm still in the anger stage. That's a funny comment. Yeah, her case would be the one they'd throw out. Police. I mean, it's coming up. By the way, I saw right when I was going live, Criminality has a live schedule tonight at 8 my time, and it's going to be about all the upcoming trials, which Teresa sent me a list of them the other day. And I mean, she found so many cases that are approaching trial. So that'll be a really good video. Idaho and Texas are for death row. The difference is how quick you die. Texas is almost within a year. Oh my God. Of the inmate sentencing. Idaho has 10 years or longer. That's crazy. Seth, what did you say? I got to go in a minute before I go because it's one of my favorite channels. Wait for it. Oh, Seth, no, you don't have to do that. Go buy yourself a birthday something. And thank you for everything. Appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Oh, okay. Let me see. I got to go get Trenton from basketball. I'm starving. My my stomach is just rolling. Let's see. We're going to pull up what you sent, though, really quick, just while we're here. Right here, media.spokesman.com. Idaho's death penalty is so unusual, it's cruel. Wow. So this is an article written by Marty Trillhouse For every death row inmate Idaho executes, it has freed another on new evidence, while an equal number died of illness, to say nothing of all the condemned people serving out life sentences thanks to successful appeals. Why would you call that? What would you call that? Dysfunctional? Random? Since the death penalty was reinstated in the late 70s, Idaho has condemned 41 people, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. 3 have been executed: Keith Wells in 94, Paul Rhodes in 2011, and Richard Levitt the following year. New evidence exonerated Donald Paradis. We talked about him. He emerged from prison 21 years after he was sentenced to death. Thomas Gibson, his co-defendant, was relief and paroled, and his conviction was overturned. Another man who spent 18 years before DNA evidence exonerated him. Meanwhile, earlier this month, Michael Allen became the 3rd death row inmate to die in custody after an extended illness. They named some earlier cases. And Gerald Pizzuto seems to be on the brink of becoming the latest of more than 20 condemned prisoners to have his sentence reversed. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay. Oh, thank you, Pizza Chemist. Pizza. Oh my gosh. We don't have Little Caesars here, or like little $5 pizza places where I moved, and that reminds me of those days. I do too, Crime Sleuth. And I mean, they already sent over 1,000 documents, 2,000 photos. That's crazy. Okay. Yes. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'm sure I'll see you over the weekend. I wanted, I don't know. I've been all in my feelings, thinking about that addiction series. I really want to get that going. I've been talking about it, and it's just time. And by the way, if somebody comes and watches later and you're like, I used to be a mod and now I'm not. If you didn't come in the chat, I wasn't able to add you, because that's just the easiest way to do it. If not, I got to go to each one of your individual Google profiles, copy your link, and go drop it in the studio. And it's just hard. Oh, what'd you do, Seth? Hold on. Thank you. You did not have to do that. Thank you so much. That was really sweet. Let me see. I hate how StreamYard doesn't show you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Seth. That was really awesome. Let me see who got them. JD Wells, Kay Brace, Cheryl, Brandy, Rhiannon, Sean, and 5678, Sinister Soldier. Oh, Amber Love Reigns. And Guidance too. Yay, that was really sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much. Woofy accidentally timed you out, cray. Okay, let's see what else is at the end of this article. Then I'm going to let you guys go, because I'm telling you, my stomach is like touching my spine at this point. And I got to go get Trenton too. Consider the context. Idaho's system is slowing to a crawl. The state has imposed the death sentence only 3 times in 10 years, and no defendant has been ordered executed since 2010. It may happen this year, honey. Nothing about capital punishment in Idaho or the United States is predictable except its sheer randomness. Think of it as a huge funnel. At the top, there are 14,000 people who commit murder each year. Wow. About 2,500 of them are eligible for the death penalty. Last year, juries imposed the death sentence 79 times. 39 executions were carried out. Wow, so the number gets smaller and smaller each step of the way, right? Certainly not logic. Many of the worst are serving life. Among them are Gary Leon Ridgway, the Green River Killer, the Unabomber, the Olympic Park Bomber, Jared Lee Lofner, who killed 6 people, a federal judge, and a 9-year-old girl. Oh, the one that wounded Congressman Gabrielle Giffords. It boils down to geography, timing, and circumstances. In other words, luck. 18 states have abolished capital punishment. 6 of them have made that choice in the last 6 years. So I don't know. We'll see. There's not a lot of promise that if anyone's sentenced. I think the point is, even if someone does get a death sentence in Idaho, the likelihood of it being carried out is quite rare. But I really do. What do you guys think? Before we go, do you think that Lori Vallow and Chad will be sentenced to death? Because I do. I really do. I'm up in the air with Brian Koberger because the families are not down with it. So, not in Texas. Texas death row is the exact same time. Him spending his time in a cell forever is fine by me. Yeah. Oh, there's Lynn. Yay. I'm glad you came in because I really did not want to not have your wrench handed out yet, but I had to come in the chat. Especially if you guys know, you ever search for a small channel, it's really hard to find, like, especially if they have a common name or even like not that common of a name. If they don't even put up videos, it's almost impossible to go find the channels. That's why you kind of have to wait till they come in chat or message privately and ask for the link. But thank you guys for hanging out with me and talking about this today. It cost over $115,000 to house a prisoner in Idaho. Wow. Sentence is different than execution. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I think they'll be killed. I just think life on death row, you guys, even if they are not executed, if they die on death row, life looks very different on death row than in general population. On death row, you have like an hour a day out of your cell, period, and you're in there alone. In general population, you'll have bunk mates. You'll be able to go outside. You'll be able to get a job, most likely. Like prison life is like a little community, right? It's like a town in there. I know y'all watch Orange is the New Black and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I know it's just TV, but still, it's based on a true story, and that is the way it is. But death row inmates, their life does not look like that. So I think there's a different angle to this of why I want them to get the death penalty. I don't think they'll even be put to death. You know, the chances of it are not very good, but if it makes their life a little bit more of a hell, then I'm all for it for these 3. Every single one of them. That is where I'm at. Let's see what you guys said. Oh, thank you, Chemistry Queen. They are. Oh, LFT and them. That's right. You guys are doing Athena. What time is that? 9? Oh my God, wrench gone. So Criminality is going live in about an hour, and then, or less than an hour, and then in about 2 hours, Decipher podcast is going live. And yeah, other than that, I'm gonna let you guys go. I love you. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Hey, Melissa Jade. They sit forever alone in cell hell. They get to the day when they pray for. Oh, yes. And no garlic tonight, madam. Oh, my God. No way. No way. Thank you, crazy mama. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.